Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Supernatural Talk. I'm your host, Nick Mulay. We got Adrian with us. Eileen did briefly jump on, but unfortunately, she's having signal issues, so she might be jumping on possibly again. We're also supposed to be having Jill Jade on as kind of a guest host. Hopefully, she'll be coming on soon. But we have our guest for tonight. We have Mr. Austin Maynard, if I say your last name correctly, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, first off, Austin, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself while we share everything?
Oh yeah, no. I am 31 years old. I started getting into the paranormal field 2015. I think I was like 23. But basically, when I was young, I had a sudden cardiac arrest, a lethal arrhythmia. It was actually like right after my 18th birthday. And so I was in a coma for like 3 days, and I almost lost my life, And so I think actually, technically, I did die, but like they revived me, And so ever since then, I've kind of just had this interest, But what it really like, I just currently am a tech builder. I stepped away from the investigating for so long. And now I kind of focus on more of the like the background of a haunting, more or less like why do ghosts do what they do, how do they do what they do, more of like a scientific approach. But I also do a lot with ITC, instrumental transcommunication. I've been really big into that for a while, and just recently got hired onto the show Death Walker with Nick Groff as the tech manager. And additionally, I also run the Underground Paranormal Network, which has 6 locations currently that we open up for private investigations. Working on 2 more as well.
That's amazing. Sorry, I was finishing up sharing my side.
So where is your investigation places?
They're all in Ohio. We have 5 in northwestern Ohio, and then 1 that's just about an hour east of Cincinnati.
Okay. That's
You go ahead, Adrian, then I'll ask my next question.
It's time to move it on down this way now too, to Colorado.
Yeah, I'm hoping that eventually it'll be nationwide. Because really the whole idea is just like finding these quote unquote underground locations, places that most people wouldn't know about otherwise. And, because I think energy is everywhere. I think every single town, every settled area, I guess is a good way to say it. There's energy, there's history, there's something there. It's just a matter of tapping into it. So I think that a lot of these places could use the attention, use the awareness, use the money that's raised. Really.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we have. Like Nick did a thing right after we went on Cheeseman Park here in Denver, which is crazy by itself. It's crazy. They buried a bunch of bodies there and then started digging them up when they wanted them moved. But they dug them up. They found out that you could, correct me if I say this wrong, Nick, but they found out that if you, they were paying them by the casket.
Yeah.
So they take a finger and put it in one casket and get paid. And then they'd cut a head off and put it in another one. And lots of bodies are still there.
Yeah, they're to this day, they're still finding bones and human remains in that park.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that would be if you're trying to make some money, that would be a good way to do it. It's still kind of very, very, that's crossing some line a little bit there.
Yeah. I hope they're haunting whoever did that to this day.
Right. Well, it's probably why there are spirits, right?
Yeah.
And then we have all the mining towns that are ghost towns now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to check those out, hopefully when it starts cooling down, which is now.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
See, we're starting to spread that too, also in our area, because Austin, if you didn't know, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. So we got yes, another Bears fan. That's awesome. Yeah,
hey.
we got a lot of we seriously have like a lot of locations here in the city, as well as not even just in Chicago, throughout the state of Illinois. And I've actually been going out to a lot of these locations that, same thing whatsoever. Most are just underground. You would never think about them. And, we've because I've been going up and down the state, and it just seems like it's like when you see these places, it's like, wow, how have we not seen heard about these locations before, or how it's not been documented in investigations or live investigations?
So, where are you currently? Are you still in Illinois?
Yes, I am.
All right. So there's a place somewhere out in the same area as Bachelor's Grove. I can't remember, but it's a place called the Irish Legend.
Yes, I know.
Have you heard of that? You know that place?
I have.
Oh man, dude, I've wanted to go in there so bad. There was a time, I mean, Al Capone's, man, that was his former speakeasy. So like why, like I have been wanting to, but the lady at the time that I tried to get in there, she just wasn't really, I don't know. They must have new management, new owners or something.
They probably do, but I know a lot of that's really changed because nowadays we're actually able to gain access into these locations.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Hi,
Jill, how you doing?
Sorry, I had connection issues, but we won't go there. I kept trying. So I'll try to stay on as long as I can and chat with y'all.
You made it, though.
Yeah. And
Sure.
I think Austin said that he can stay on till 9. So if that changes, just let everyone know.
Yeah, I got a phone call I got to get on at 9 regarding some rather important matters.
Well, Jeremy does agree with you. You do always have issues, Jill. Jeremy did ask too. Didn't you also have a location or two in Michigan, Austin?
At one point, we had the Detroit 6th Precinct building on McGraw Avenue, but the owner passed away from COVID, and once that happened, we kind of just lost access because I mean his son Tim was supposed to like take over and work with us and take over his dad's business and everything, and I'm pretty sure that he has taken over his dad's business, but like he was also trying to handle his dad's estate, and there's other siblings that aren't really helping out, so it's kind of I feel like it's probably a lot for him to handle all at once, and so it's really just at a standstill. But other than that, we don't have any other locations in Michigan. Someday, hopefully.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of them also in Michigan to definitely check out that happen again underground.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd like to even get the precinct back. That was an amazing place, It was horrible when Ed died, it was hard on everybody that knew him. So hopefully someday we can get his son to just, open back up and just let us back in or something.
Right.
But nobody can get a hold of him. It's frustrating.
Who knows the Capone family?
That's what I was just about to say, because whoever this is, they said we've been there. I'm wondering if this is...
Is that Mikey again?
I'm wondering if that's either Mikey or if that's Tom McNicholas. I'm looking right now to the video, but whoever you are, just use this link so we can see your name, please. Because it's Tom. Yep, I'm right. It's Tom. Thanks, Carissa. They're all saying this. There we go. Yes, Tom would agree about the Irish Legend. We have been there in the past. It's stuff. I'm glad he kind of reminded me because even I forgot because there's just so many of them that it's like you sometimes. That's why I've actually been writing a list now of all these places so I can never forget about them. So.
Right. That was just one I always had my eye on, like back in the day, until like the owner just kept shooting me down no matter what I said or what I tried to do. I don't know if it was the owner or if it was the general manager or something, but at the time she was just like, nope. So Gave up on it after a while. I'm glad that it's opening up. It looks like a cool location, and based on the history, you know, with Al Capone and everything, and it's very intriguing.
Right.
You just
right.
have to find a way to win her heart. Like whatever she loves, bring it to her.
I know that's what I should do. Well, I mean, apparently they let people back. They're letting people in now, so I wouldn't have to do that.
There you go.
Either she's changed her mind, or it's probably a completely different owner.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it would be cool to someday get in there, but I don't even have time for that anymore.
Jeremy says, "Reach your heart with tacos."
There you go. That wins every time.
Tacos, yep. Tacos, yep. Oh, for sure.
Let's just see. I'm just going back just to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. So, like, are there any other locations out there that you're trying to get to, like, other than the Irish Legend, or like in other states whatsoever?
As far as like the Underground Paranormal Network goes, at this point I kind of let them come to me. I don't really go out and search for them. Because I mean, it's kind of wild because, like, you know, I don't even the last like 3 locations that we've gotten have been people that have said, hey, this building really needs help. Can you know, maybe try to talk to the owners or something? And so then I'll reach out. But like, it's hard for me to just like look online and whatever. But I mean, there are a couple that we're working on, still in Ohio though. I would encourage anybody that would like to, you know, be a part of the Underground Paranormal Network, or, you know, have a location that would possibly need our help. You know, of course, they can have them reach out to me, or just, you know, just somehow get in contact with me, and we can see what we can do for them. But I'm kind of limited right now, especially right now because we're about to start filming here and like at the end of October, so I got to start getting shit together.
And you'll be filming for 4 weeks, 6 weeks?
Through November 22nd, from October 24th to November 22nd.
Oh, wow, for a good month.
Mm-hmm. It's like a different location every 3 days.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't it like 15 locations in so many weeks? I was like, how are you going to do it?
Yeah, it's like shit, how many? I think we're doing 12 locations in 4 weeks. Wow. So it's not even 4 weeks, it's a couple days short of 4 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just seeing how many you guys are going to, it's gotta be even lesser than that.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
It'll be fun.
It'll be tiring. It'll be fun.
I was gonna say that's gonna be tiring to do, but you know what? It's exactly, you just took the words out of my mouth, Adrian.
It'll be worth it. It's all good.
Oh yeah, it was fun last season. It was fun the end of season 3. Just doing it, you know, just hanging out with Nick and Justin, and just being able to see some of the locations. It was really cool. And of course the experiments.
What's this? Looks like we got a new fan who's
Psychic and Paranormal Investigators Response Team. Psychic.
Connecticut.
That's awesome.
Hi, Rebecca.
Nice
welcome.
to be introduced to another paranormal stream. Yes, welcome. We always appreciate it. Yep. Steve and Jeremy just made this nice message for Rebecca. So good to have you tuning in, Rebecca. Jeremy had another question for us, which was, have you reached out to any of your locations about the Giving Tree event yet?
Yeah, I mean, I was well, I know I did the one at the Village this past like, you know, I can't even remember how long ago it was, like July. We did it, but I haven't really even thought about it yet. A lot of the locations, like, we're not even scheduling that far ahead yet. The thing about UGPN is that the locations are kind of interchangeable, so to speak. Like, well, there's I expect there to be turnover at some point. Like some of the locations will come and go, and and basically, that's what I do with the owners is work it out so that whenever we are able to help them get to where they want to go, whenever they're ready to kick us to the curb, they're welcome to. You know what I mean? I don't like to hold people hostage. I don't like the locations to feel like we're trying to take advantage of them or anything. And so I really will just. Like it just depends on what we got. I'll have to see. I'll get back with you, Jeremy.
And we have a date for Giving Tree next year, correct? It's July.
Yes, it is. I think it was
it again.
Jeremy. Send the reminder. Is it? I thought it was either June or July of next year.
July.
Yeah, he sent me a message about it.
Yep.
15th. Okay.
July 15th, 2023. Okay.
Yeah. I just haven't had a chance to check it yet. Or, I mean, I saw he wrote me and I opened it, but then I got distracted by other things. So I'm sorry, Jeremy. I will get back with you. I promise.
You got less than a full year, so you got quite a number of months.
Oh, I tell you what, when you're planning something, that year is not enough.
Yeah, that's true. It does go really fast.
Yeah, it does.
I remember our 3-month planning event in Salina, Kansas. Yeah.
Yeah. That one so fast. Like it felt like it was only a day.
That was really bad.
Jeremy says we got 6 locations so far. So and you know what? I've actually been trying to do the same thing for some of the other locations here in Chicago. So again, we're focusing on some of those other places out there that just seem underground. What's up, Carl? Good to see you.
Well, Austin is founder of Underground Paranormal, so that should be his realm, underground.
Exactly. We were talking about that before you came
You're
on.
Just joining the party late.
Yeah, I can't really say that it wasn't all bad. We got to meet Mustafa. That was a plus. He's an awesome person. I love him to death. And we got to see friends. We got to meet people that we just talked to online. So it wasn't all bad. It just wasn't quite what we wanted.
Yeah, it's as far as I'm concerned, it was more of the people that were supposed to show attendance. As far as speakers and vendors went, that went great. It was just lack of communication. Sean, good to see you. I haven't seen you on here for a while. Sean Gilmore.
Hey.
This is one of my friends. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I was on his show a couple months, our paranormal podcast. Mm-hmm. He was the one, and Jill, if you remember, he was the one who was scaring me with images of cockroaches too.
That's right. I remember now.
Carissa said, I have some locations in mind in Indiana if Underground Paranormal ever wants to cross those state lines.
I do.
All right.
I mean, just reach out to me directly. You can meet me on my own on my personal Facebook page, or you can reach out Underground Paranormal Network Facebook page, and I'll get back in touch with you. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I could tell Sean remembers that all too well.
Poor Nick. You should never share your fear like that online.
Never again. I am not, as long as I'm a guest, I am not revealing it.
Yeah, see, you noticed that night that, everybody thought it was a good idea to share their fears. I did not. Remember that?
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything. I'm like, what am I afraid of? I'm just afraid of my mom. She's a scary lady. But
I'm afraid of heights.
Well, we all know, of course, if Austin, you don't know him, but we all know Brad's fear. That's his ex-wife.
That's not his fear. That's his nemesis. No, we won't go there.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Jan's on. She has a huge documentary she wants to do in New Mexico.
That's something we're planning on doing there. There's I'm not going to try to name. I'm not even going to try it. But yeah, there's lots of history in where she's at.
New
and
Mexico?
the caves, some of the caves that are right behind her house, like right behind her house have never been explored. Hey, Nita.
That could be scary. I've seen The Descent. I don't want to go crazy.
That's a good movie.
I love that movie.
That's
love
not
that
one
movie.
answer.
No, we had a lot of people that I used to work at cleaning oil field, the band camps. And the stories that I got, because they would have to go check the oil rigs in the middle of the night, and they're like out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And I had people come tell me, they're like, oh my gosh, there was this thing that come through here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, we won't go back. We're not going at night ever again. So what do you think you saw? They're like, I don't know, but I think it was a skinwalker. And I'm like, okay, well, next time get your camera out.
Right.
They're like, no, we're not going back. And then one time there was one that I was really intrigued by, and I would like to go see. There was a man that got killed. He got drunk and he took his briefcase and was walking down a highway that only trucks go down. I mean, you don't go down there. It's between New Mexico and Texas. And they were going down there just walking, and he got killed. So this was years later. These people are from Texas, New Mexico. They're from Alabama. I mean, they come from everywhere to come and work the oil field. And so these guys didn't know. Like, we didn't even hear it on the news when it happened. And he said, well, we just stopped, and this guy was walking. It was raining. And I stopped and asked him if he wanted a ride or wanted a drink or wanted anything. And he said, I'll take a drink. And he went to get him a bottle of water, and he just stood there looking at him. And he was like, you sure you don't want to get in? He said, no, I'm okay. Thank you. And disappeared, like gone right there. He didn't even walk away. He was just gone. Mm. And he come to the store after that happened. He was like, I don't know what I just saw. I don't know what just happened. I said, how long you been working? You like on a 24-hour shift or what? And he was like, no, I know what I saw. And I was not the only one. It's like, that's cool. I'll go check that out.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Jeremy saying, I see Austin is always working on equipment every time he's on a show. How does he keep from being distracted and not even make mistakes?
Multitasking.
Muscle memory at this point.
Red Bull helps too.
See, I'm not much of a Red Bull fan. I mean, I used to be, but I gave that stuff up a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I take
Adderall too. I've been prescribed Adderall since I was young. So it helps me with my ADD. That probably helps with the staying focused thing too. So.
I just want to give
those fidget things that you need. Like some people use pens or whatever. Like your hands have to stay busy, because I have that problem. So I always have to tell myself, like, if I have to stay composed for something, I'm like, what am I going to do with my hands? Like, so my son has the same problem. So I'm like, just hold your hands together, or like, just try.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I do. I mean, there are times when I I'll get distracted from building before I get distracted from talking. Is that, what I mean? So sometimes I'll get into a thought and I'll start talking about it. I'll just keep going and going, but I'll stop building and just, keep walking or keep talking, whatever,
Right.
I just want to give a quick shout out for Josh, because he's among one of those who was down in if I'm correct, Josh, was down in Florida during Hurricane Ian. I could see, obviously, looks like your power is back on, for us tuning in. So, hopefully your house is still standing. Hope you guys are doing well in that area of Florida, because I heard you guys got hit pretty bad from Ian.
Yeah.
Damn. That's supposed to be like the worst one, right? Like in U.S. history?
The worst one in one of the roughest in several years.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the whole thing live yesterday.
Yeah. I know Katrina was pretty damn bad too.
Yeah, it was. Carissa says, I love to investigate, but don't watch a lot of paranormal shows. So for us that don't know, what will you be doing on the show? What will you get to be on screen? Okay, so I didn't realize this was also a question.
Well, basically, Nick hired me on as his tech manager because basically he's trying to take Deathwalker in a different direction than he's done before. Basically, he is trying to focus on using technology and different experiments to be able to kind of push the threshold a little bit. And the hard part for me at least is I have to have something new every single episode, and it can't be anything that's been seen on TV before. And that's going to be like a major point of Deathwalker is that like everything that we do is going to be like deep ITC, or it's going to be like if any of you guys heard of radionics.
I don't think I've heard of that before. No.
It's basically the whole intent. It's all about intentional energy and being able to amplify your intentional energy using scalar waves. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have Tessa do this radionics machine, because if she's already if she already has abilities, then I mean, if you would think about it, when I think that when a person has abilities, they become like a lighthouse in the darkness.
Yeah.
And if you give them a piece of equipment, a piece of communication equipment, wouldn't that make them kind of like a giant antenna? Essentially, like an even more sensitive antenna for them to use. So like imagine if she were to if she's able to control like her intentional energy, or if she's able to do anything like that, then she can put it into this device, like focus it all into it, and be able to possibly change things in the atmosphere, possibly able to change because it's all about subtle wave variations. It's all about changing or manipulating the environment, and they have actually done this with beetles. There's a study done, I think at University of Cambridge, that basically they were able to manipulate the behavior of beetles by using a radionics machine, and they were able to change the reproductive rates of one species of beetle, and also lower the aggressiveness of another species of beetle. Like beetles where two males would be very, territorial and aggressive towards each other. Yeah, they lowered that by like half or something, like double or triple the reproductive rates of the other. And so if it's able to work, even if it was on a scale of, changing beetles, then what could somebody with sensibilities, or, somebody like Tessa be able to do with a machine? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I got questions like that. Using full spectrum radio frequency receivers, using I got something real cool. I'm not gonna reveal much more, but I definitely I got some really cool ideas.
And she's all on game to try this out.
Okay, so what was that a minute ago, Rebecca?
Yeah, I got to go back to some of these. When Gwen's daughter was a supervisor, I had to cover a third shift for a no-show. She had been on a 5-hour caffeine drink. The drink stopped working. She fell asleep at the wheel on her way back to work. Great loss.
Oh, gosh.
Jeez.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Holy cow. Okay, so let me go to the, because again, there's a couple long ones here. What's your favorite? Looks like this is a combination of a question and comment. What's your favorite investigations? I wish you very good luck, Adrian, on the documentary. That sounds awesome. I look forward to hearing more on the stream about it. I have investigated for a while. I'm a psychic and have a YouTube channel. I'm meeting Nick at the Warrens Paracon this October. I'm excited. There's a new Ghost Adventures tonight, too. She's got to record it.
Okay, never mind. I'll keep my opinions to myself at this point. Okay, so anyway.
Jeez. That's a novel right there.
Rebecca, that's awesome. I don't know exactly when this documentary is going to happen. We're trying to get some people into it that are actually, good at filming, know what they're doing, and actually make it something, because this is a place that really needs lots of attention. So I want it to be professional looking and not look like I just walked through there with a camera and yeah, we're not doing that. But I'm also a medium, so nice to meet you. I think that was for you, Austin. What's your favorite investigations?
Yeah, I think that was the first question.
Rebecca was asking also locations. What was your favorites?
Oh, my favorite locations?
Or your investigation?
Investigations, as Rebecca's asking.
I guess I'm not really sure what that would mean specifically. That's a very vague. My favorite investigations.
Right.
I mean, I guess my favorite investigations are typically ones that consist of myself and maybe one other person, where we just go in there and I don't even like going to these. I have never been to Waverly Hills, and I refuse to go. I refuse to go. I'm not gonna do it. Reason being is because I don't like to go to locations that have been beaten to death with a stick that's the same fucking questions, but from a million different people. I mean, this place has been open for 30-something years for investigations. Why would I go in there and talk to the same spirits? Those spirits there are probably damn, I've told you guys my name 500 times. I'm done. I'm thinking if I was a spirit, I think different, I guess. I'm a little different.
Yeah, I think, the residual, everybody's going to get that constant, but I agree that I'd like to do things that have not been done, find out if anything is there. Usually they're,
right.
Well, like we were talking about, there's something out in the middle of nowhere that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't have to have things there.
Right.
You have to have a building.
No, I think there's land. I mean, there's history on land. I mean, especially if it was active Native American land back in the day, even if there's nothing there now, if the tribes at one point had settled in the area,
right,
and they may have done, I mean, think about Native Americans. They're very spiritual. Everything that they do has a lot to do with the spiritual side of the universe. And so if they're going to be doing that kind of stuff, what kind of doors are opened, what kind of energy is brought in or remains, it's all fascinating to me.
Yeah, we have a house that was built in 1908. Oh, and see, the ghosts appear everywhere.
Oh yeah.
What is that buzzing noise?
That was my wife calling me.
Beep beep.
Yep. Nah, but I think my favorite locations, that's hard. That's hard because I've done, I think, oh my God. She's blowing me up. She's like, oh, this motherfucker's hanging up on me.
That's like me. I'll blow it up.
I know, but it's I told you. I told you last night that I had.
What if it's an emergency? Answer her.
Well, if I answer her, then I'll be off. So
at least text her and say I'm on the show. Are you okay?
Yeah, hold on.
There you go, text her.
Well, while I'm doing that, while you're doing that, because these comments are coming in fast, so I'm trying.
I
love that noise. That just sounds funny.
Dear Lord.
Rebecca said she has a novel. What is it, Rebecca?
Wait, what did she say? Oh, wait, hang on.
Like my novels.
You'll have to post it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you an author?
Me?
No, Rebecca.
We're asking Rebecca.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Wait a minute. Greg, it is awesome that Nick is with Nick Groff.
Groff.
It's awesome that Nick is with Nick Groff.
You mean Austin? Austin's with Nick.
Yeah, do you mean Austin, Greg? Because we're not with Nick.
Well, I was going to say, when did that happen?
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. What the hell is that? Janet's like, you better answer.
all the women.
Okay, let me get to these. Oh my God! And someone is calling me now, and I have no idea who this is. I'm not answering it.
If you don't know the number, they don't need to be talking to you.
Well, strangely enough, it's from Aurora, and Aurora is not too far from me.
Oh.
So I don't know who that is, but they're gonna have to leave a message.
It might be. There's an Aurora right here in Colorado.
It says Aurora, Illinois. Oh. It's about a half hour away from, about half hour, 45 minutes away from me. Anita says most magics use external objects with compatible energies that work in the direction you want it to go to act as boosters or boundaries to align energy and focus.
That's like a radionics machine in a way. Scalar energy or scalar waveform generators. Some people call them intentionators. Some people call them wishing machines. Some people call them radionics machines. But at the end of the day, yeah, she's right.
Austin, I think I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I think I noticed he's frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen. There you go.
I was going to say, you had like this angry look.
No, you had a ventriloquist thing going on.
Like, you having a bad day or something?
No, I'm still trying to.
It's froze.
Hold on, I'm trying to get her taken care of because she's just going to keep.
Yeah, handle the text.
Nina says in response, I think, to Jan, sweet Caroline photograph of energy workings. Using the hands are impressive if you want to see what it looks like.
Wait, what?
Using hands?
I don't
see. I was having a little trouble understanding this too. What Anita just said.
I'll tell you what, Anita, send that to Jan. Jan can show me what you're talking about.
I don't know. Did I already read this one? I can't remember. There are
using the hands for energy. Sorry.
There are levels of asking questions and learning how to have a conversation is the start to learning what questions to ask. Investigative questions are different than social questions. Hang on a second, guys. I got to shut the door. My sister's dog is here.
I don't know that investigative questions are different. It might just be my opinion, but I go in and speak to them like I would speak to somebody I can see in front of me and, talk to them like a human.
Mm-hmm.
And, what I've learned now, it may just be me, I don't know. But if you're in a bad mood, if you're, well, let's be honest, a shitty person, that's not going to happen. It's just not. You have a shitty person with you. It's not going to happen. They just,
all depends on the vibe.
Yeah. It's just like they just push away, like, go, no.
Yeah, especially because if you're talking about if they are a form of energy of some sort, they're going to be able to feel your energy or feel the energy that's around you. So if you are a bad person, like you said, really, that's they're going to tell. They're going to know.
If animals and babies feel it, spirits are going to feel it.
It's like that one TikTok thing, like, nobody's going to know. They're going to know.
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok yet, and neither does Nick.
I don't either, but like my wife does, and I see that shit on Facebook like all the time. Like, they're gonna know. I think they just put it on a commercial too.
Now, Linda says here, this is interesting. When Joshua first told me about the storm in Florida, I put out a prayer call to all prayer warriors. The path of the storm moved away from Joshua's area. So prayer works. But then he said, and this actually kind of partially relates to what you were just saying about Native American land, Austin. It was Josh here then says he believed his Seminole tribe protected Tampa Bay again from the hurricane.
It's possible.
Okay, hell, we had a big mess we fell into fixing from pre-colonial times involving slaves from more modern times. Counted on a greenway during a walk.
Wow.
Okay, so more modern times. Like
laughing, going yes.
We got another question here. Jeremy's asking, do you have a name or a website for your tech building business?
My name? No website. I'm still working on getting ITC Voices up and running. I still got to do that. We had a lot of trouble, and so we've had to basically start from scratch. So we have all the files, and we got to upload them all. And so, and I mean, we're talking ITC voices. This was something that Tim Woolworth had worked on for years. And he's got so much on there. It's like going to take a long time to like get it all back and running and coordinated and, you know, organized and everything. It's just so like once I get that up and running, then maybe, but you know, for now, just contact me through my page.
Oh, I get what Greg's saying now. Sorry about that. Austin looks a lot like Nick. I don't know where that. I don't know about that.
No.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Oh, she sent me a picture. She's not friends with Jan on Messenger about this.
Oh, you can send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you at some point. There are people too. Oh, another question here. Clarissa's asking, is science just natural to you, or did you study much of this?
I don't know if science is natural, but like, I mean, I've been in the field since, like I said, like 2015, and I just have, you know, tried to take it all in, everything. Like I've never limited myself with regards to like, my theories, or, you know, I feel like I can learn a lot from people still. And everything I learn, I try to like take it into consideration. But at the end of the day, you know, it's all, you know, up to speculation, and it's all subjective. But when it comes to like the technology stuff, like I only really started that in like 2019. I started working with J.W. Prather and K.D. Stafford. Those were the first two I really started talking to and dealing with, and quickly became great friends with those guys. And they've taught me quite a lot, as well as Steve and Katie Halte, great mentors. And I've just kind of figured stuff out, really.
I was just about to ask you that right before you spoke on it. Like, who are your paranormal field mentors, and who do you look up to? Where are you receiving some like inspiration from, I suppose?
Yeah, no, I mean, my inspiration or my mentors are the three of those guys, or four of those guys: Stephen, Katie Halte, KD Stafford, and JW Prather. Those guys have taught me. I mean, I'm still learning things from KD, especially, you know, KD is my best friend. And so like, you know, I'm always peeping what he's doing, but sometimes he's like, man, you're just going to take it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take your idea. I love what he does, man. He does some amazing work. And, you know, I mean, even with his show Devil's Perch on right now, you know, he, you know, I mean, he's limited on the show. So like the real stuff that he does is like insane, and that's why they call him the mad scientist, you know. But I'm still far behind him and far behind the other guys. I'm still always learning, but I have no formal training, to say the least.
Adrian, Nina just sent me the picture, so I'm about to send it to you now.
Okay.
She sent me a picture, and then she sent me a Wikipedia link on it too. So I'm about to send you a second image.
Is what Anita talking about? Is it like the Reiki stuff where you use your hands and energy to do things?
How do you say? No, it's how do you say Curlian photography? Is that how you say it, or I feel like I'm saying it? I feel like I'm not saying it right.
That's definitely yeah. I think you are Curlian.
Curlian. Okay.
Is it like an aura, like a photograph of aura?
Yeah.
It looks like auras. Yeah.
It looks like energy. I don't know.
Okay.
I know what she's talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
It's that aura photography. It's like, yeah, they have those cameras that are weird filtered or something.
Thanks, Linda.
That's really neat. I really have not heard of this, so that's thank you. I'll read this tonight.
She said she couldn't find the really good one where you have a before and after energy projection.
That would be a really neat. Now, I know one of my friends is doing they finally got a college to kind of endorse this with them. And it's she's a mortician, but she's also a scientist. And she said that they're doing this thing where anybody who claims to be a medium or any kind of ability like that, they're scanning the brain and seeing, what different scenarios. And then they're also putting people in that are not and seeing the difference and different things. And I would love to hear the outcome of that experiment.
I think, Austin, you were talking about that on one of your live builds.
What about?
The brain testing for mediums and psychics.
Oh, yeah, I did that on one of the episodes that we filmed for over the spring. I actually, with Tessa, I actually put one of those, I think they call it a flow time headband.
Mm-hmm.
It shows the brain waves on the left and the right side of your brain. And I thought, and I'll tell you, this is fucking nuts, but one of the things that we saw, or that I saw, was that because at the time she was wearing it, plus she was wearing KD's version, the ghost helmet, she was trying to describe, at first she was describing the general things that she was picking up on in the building, like nothing specific, just like, oh, there's kind of this kind of energy and there's this many people here kind of thing. And when she did that, the right side of her brain would start to spike.
Oh, wow.
But when she started getting into more specific things, like talking about a specific entity or, whatever, the left side would spike. But the right side would go and stay stagnant. So that's kind of interesting that I saw, but I don't know what it means. But I mean, clearly it shows that her activity on the left and the right side of the brain changed depending on what she was talking about, what she was describing. So
that's kind of neat. That I want to kind of compare that to what they find, on theirs. And I know they're trying to do something with the frontal lobe as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, frontal lobe is all about impulses. Is all about it's like your filter too, like where you filter out what you say and what you don't say.
Oh, see, mine's missing, so yeah. We all know that.
There's some people out there it's just missing. It's just not there. They have no filter.
It died, I don't know, probably when I turned 18, and that was the end of it. And then the older you get, the less you care what somebody thinks about you, and you just, you're yourself, and if somebody likes it, great. If not,
they're only 30, so just a reminder that they're not.
That's me.
I'm only 30. What are you talking about?
Wait a minute. Wait, I'll be 30 next year.
Not even 30. Yeah, Nick's 29.
I'm 31. So.
Yeah.
Y'all
Big 3-0 next year. Oh my God.
Watch the energies.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to think of, the name of that machine, and I didn't want to say it wrong, and I knew Jen done that, and I didn't want to say it wrong.
There's another question. Hang on. Who was it that asked the question? Oh, it was Clarissa again. Do you do tech building for investigators? A friend recommended you convert an old radio I have from my mother's passing into a portal like his.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I do a lot of custom work, actually. Like a lot of the things that I do are just custom projects. Like I don't know if you guys saw the things I just recently did with Terry Long and the Long Gone Dolls.
Yeah. Do you have one to show?
I do. You guys are lucky because I literally just got this package today.
Oh,
all right.
I haven't even opened the package yet. So.
So this is going to be a real reveal.
A reveal. Joshua, are you really 51?
I was going to say,
no way, 51? Josh.
No way.
We don't know. His frontal lobe died too, but the assumption is that some people can skip greater wavelength. And that's it. It's all assumptions. And now that we're finally getting science involved, I'm hoping that there'll be a little clarity to it.
Oh my God!
Where's Jeremy?
Jeremy, are you watching this? Please tell me you're watching.
Jeremy.
I love that. That is badass.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hold on.
Okay.
There it is. There he is.
Jeremy wants one.
Hold on. I got the batteries in real quick.
Looks like there's something but wait, there's
Anita,
more.
So cute.
Anita, okay. That is not any form of cute.
So cute. It's so scary and cute.
Okay, puppies are cute. Babies are cute. I don't know what the hell that is. It's not cute. It's fascinating, but it's not cute.
I love Jennifer's response. Oh, hell no.
Oh, these are
hell
cool.
yeah, Jennifer.
These are cool.
It's oh my God, it's almost erotic.
Oh.
Are you serious, Josh?
Josh, okay. Go see the therapist. You're done.
Adrian.
Let's not go wherever it is.
Don't marry your doll.
Looks like you have someone you know, Austin, but we can't tell who this is. Facebook.
Who are
user.
you, bud?
I'll
What's
put the
your
link
name?
up so we can see who you. Use this link so we can see who you are.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I know a lot of people.
Reveal yourself.
Shout your name.
All
No,
right.
but there's that one where that girl, I don't know, she married her zombie doll. So some people
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I remember hearing that.
Oh yeah.
love their doll.
All right. So what do you got? What else you got with this doll?
Hold on.
Horror writer. Oh. Okay.
What's that?
Look, babe.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
It's a ventriloquist doll.
that's a ventriloquist.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it's a puppet.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Look at those teeth. Oh no.
That is nuts. That is awesome.
I'm getting one of those and it's gonna sleep with it.
I was gonna say, Austin.
I hope you two are very, very happy.
Austin, I don't know if you know Jeremy, but I'm sure you know that he loves clowns. So you're gonna have to get whoever it was to make one for him.
Yeah, no, it's basically I can like Terry does these she actually does long gone. Her thing is long gone dolls, and basically she creates them she takes old antique dolls and then she paints them and creates this look for them that just makes them creepy as hell. And so I made a ventriloquist dummy for a guy up in Canada a while back, and she saw the video and was like, "Oh my God, I love this." And so then I was like, okay, as soon as I saw that comment, I was like, all right, it's on. All right. All right, Terry. You already know what I'm about to ask. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So she sent me 3. I finished them, sent them back, and I literally just got them back today. And so, yeah, these ones are all accounted for already. But I know she's sending me 3 more soon here.
You're going to have to save 2 of those for Adrian and Jeremy.
Yeah, I got this clown one, and then I got one. Hold on, I'll show you the other 2.
There's some cuter ones.
Oh yes. There's even more coming. What else does he have to show?
This way.
I don't know who's asking this. Jeremy, what in the world are you thinking? Oh, it was this. It said stick a ghost box inside that thing and put some connections in its mouth so that when something comes through the ghost box, the mouth moves.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
It does that. It already does that.
What's this?
All right, so this is another one.
Oh, check that out.
Okay, so that one's cute. That one's cute.
And it's got the My Favorite Martian antenna.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a ghost box inside of a ghost. Yeah, inside of a long doll.
I'm thinking of having some fun.
And this is the last one.
Aw.
Okay, that's a little creepier.
Yeah, its eyes are kind of like almost rolled up.
One of them
Frankenstein.
is white. One of the eyes is like completely white, and then this one is looking up too. But
Oh, well. No. No.
got
It's
the
like Frankenstein.
Yeah, it kind of
yeah,
is.
kind of. It's got the little metal plate right here on him.
I like
That's awesome.
here's what Clarissa said a few minutes ago when you were showing the doll, Austin. Could you
Yeah.
imagine sitting in the dark with one of those? Yuck.
Well, that's the whole point, though.
Fine.
That's the whole point. You're supposed to sit in the dark and talk to it.
Oh.
A ghost box doll.
Well, this kind of answers Linda's question because she was asking, is that a ghost box and a ghost doll?
Sure the hell is.
Both on yes on both.
You know, I used to have a Charlie McCarthy dummy I use. I could totally ruin someone's night with that
Yes.
doll.
See, I got to learn how to do coding because once I could do that, I could try to get it to where the mouth opens every time it speaks.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
Like
Jeremy
instead
was
of just a little pull string in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, if you because I have a speaker like pointing up at the bottom of its neck into a hollow head, so like when you open the mouth, it actually gets louder. I thought that was kind of cool, but for now, that's what it is. Hopefully someday I'll be able to get it. That would be really cool. That would.
Nita says that I guess one of those dolls looks like her old chief, Zombie Alfalfa.
Yep.
And, an undead version, but that's Chief for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Jill has to kind of respond from what you were saying that one of the dolls look kind of like Frankenstein's monster. Well, apparently to Josh, no, it's Herman Munster.
True.
Well, it's almost like if what's the kid's name? Eddie? Eddie Munster.
Eddie Munster. I've met the actor who played him actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we
cool.
had him actually about 6 years ago now at the Chicago Ghost Conference.
Oh yeah. See now, if Eddie Munster would look more like his dad than a werewolf, I mean, I imagine it'd probably be that guy. Or this guy.
Even saying Herman Munster is even better.
See, this is what I do is like I will, if anybody has a ventriloquist dummy or like a doll that's, you know, fairly decent size, if I can fit the circuitry into it, I can do it. And it doesn't just pertain to dolls. It can be anything. Like if you got some crazy thing that's hollow from like the 1800s, if you wanted to do that, I could do it. Anything that's big enough for me to fit the circuitry into, I got you.
Jeremy says Lucy needs a companion.
Yes, she does.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. When she gets companions, that it does not turn out good usually.
Maybe she doesn't want to share.
Get a chatty Kathy.
Oh,
Chatty
What's that?
Kathy.
What
It's a
is
doll.
that?
Oh yeah. Sorry,
It's
I'm
an
putting
doll,
dolls
Chatty Kathy.
because these are very, very
I
precious.
could sculpt you some crazy
Do
stuff.
it in a Raggedy Ann doll.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I think that
God.
would be freaky too.
So Linda was asking, I think this kind of already answers my question though, but she's asking, was that last one you showed a zombie doll as well? Was it?
I mean, I'd say it's more like Frankenstein than a zombie. But
Either one works.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
So Jeremy's
Not
also
yet,
asking,
Jeremy.
Not yet.
not yet. It's going too soon. Jennifer, I would lose my shit if a voice came through there and I've seen stuff and never lost.
Challenge accepted, Jennifer. Don't tempt him.
Oh,
Ghostbusters.
what do we have here?
Oh,
No
Nick
way.
wore his hat last Tuesday.
wow.
Got the
That
two
is
batteries back
awesome.
right there.
Clarissa, have a good night, hon.
Oh,
Speaker.
good night, Clarissa.
That's your
That
knob.
is awesome.
Yeah, this one's actually for my partner, Mike. And if you want to use FM, you just turn this guy. There's the antenna.
That's perfect.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just finished him up like literally like last night.
Hmm.
I just gotta label it and it's done.
Josh says he actually has a ventriloquist doll that's been hanging above his bed for years, but it is a replica.
Could be a replica.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's original or a replica.
Jennifer's asking, could you put, I guess, one of the dolls in a picture if I'm correct?
No. She's talking about equipment in a picture.
Oh, okay.
That one picture she's got is absolutely crazy.
If I can do it, if you have a shadow box. If I could put the picture on the glass of the shadow box and be able to use behind it as where I could put the circuitry, yes, I could do that.
That really is an idea. That's awesome.
How much is Chatty Cathy, the talking doll, worth now? Mint in box
Nothing.
complete.
It's in the trash can. That's where it went with my kids. In the
Well,
trash can.
It says unplayed with $175 to $300.
They're not worth it. Nope. Nope. They're garbage.
Crosswire to a prop that moves its mouth to music. Oh, Jeremy has another idea. It needs a mystery machine in Impala.
I did like 6 mystery machines.
There you go, Jeremy.
I do want to do. I've had a couple people talk to me about doing the Supernatrual car.
Can you imagine?
I feel like the Supernatrual car would be kind of small. I mean, I know KD did one before, but I mean, KD's got some smaller circuits, man. I could probably do it. Maybe I could try.
Anita is just coming up with ideas here. Saying,
Oh,
can
Billy
you imagine
Bass,
a ghost box and a talking fish toy?
Yes, Billy Bass. Don't worry. Yeah, I already know. I could circuit bend that. I could try to circuit bend that thing, have it like sounding all kinds of weird.
Hey, Brad's off today, so.
Like Chatty Cathy.
Brad's off every day. What are you talking about?
Like,
no.
Like Chatty Cathy had the teeth falling out sideways. Okay.
Why?
That's what I'm wondering.
That's creepy.
People just throw cat balls.
That is creepy.
There's
Austin, do you still have your
balls.
retro phone? The retro phone? Do you still have that?
I have.
I thought that was so cool.
I have the first one I did. The second one I just shipped out today.
Oh.
I was waiting for these dolls because I'm shipping one out to the same girl that got that.
I like the retro things because it looks,
Wow.
And the phone works too, or like the handset part.
Well, it's basically got a ghost box speaker that's coming from the main ghost box coming out of the earpiece, but then it's got a voice changer microphone in here that has a separate speaker. So like when you hold it up, you can hear the ghost box, and you can also speak in, and your voice will come out the side, and whatever tone you want.
Jeremy's asking, how about a circus tent? I already know where he's going with this.
I mean, if you're talking about like a miniature one, sure. I mean, full size.
I think it was in association with that clown that she had, so that's probably why he's asking.
Yeah, if I had one, man.
Brad has
pretty much. Yeah.
Brad has a question. Have you gotten the necrophonic sounding box finished?
Necrophonic sounding
box?
I'm not sure which one you're
I
talking
don't know what
about.
he's talking. I have no idea what he's talking about either.
Necrophonic sounding box?
I don't know anything about it.
He's got a lot of boxes he's working on.
Cat balls can be extremely effective. However, I say my cat's more sensitive. Oh, and here's your question. The answer to our question, Adrian, about the teeth. The teeth were a row of plastic teeth, and the doll had been in storage for 20 years.
I didn't realize that they were detachable there, or that they were put on a separate piece.
Here's what he's talking about. The last time we talked, you said you were working on one that was clear sounding like the necrophonic sound.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Box.
I don't know. I mean, I have this one. This one's kind of crazy sounding. It's one of the Bantam box is what I call it. This one kind of sounds like
That seems pretty clear.
Oh, that's
in
really
a way.
clear.
Yeah. ordering bread or
something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm always working on different things, man. So like the Necrophonics app sounds. I'm not an app guy, so I don't really, I don't know. Like I don't use the Necrophonics app, and I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, man. You'll have to.
I don't know the app either. Does anyone here use?
Yep.
I've seen it, and I've tried using it, and then I've done some research, and no, because I mean, it's algorithms they're all on algorithms. So, I mean, to me, and I could be completely off, but to me, like you have your phone laying here, and you're talking about a new bedroom set, and all of a sudden, the next thing comes up on your phone is bedroom sets to order. No,
don't trust the
See,
algorithm behind it.
I'm not much of an app person myself. The only time I ever use them, like if absolutely necessary, is if I'm unexpectedly at some haunted location or something like that, and I don't have my equipment with, but I want to investigate. So I have no choice then but to use them. But I use very few of the apps. I mean, in addition to Necrophonics, I also have the EchoVox, Spiritus, Sono X10 EVP shifter, and iObulus. I know not everyone agrees to them, but I only use those as a backup, even if they don't work.
My question is, okay, if you recognize one of the voices, because see, for me, I have tried some of the apps, but just not the Necrophonics yet, just to test it out. And I have picked up like my best friend's voice. So how would that come through if it's their voice and they're talking to you specifically? So I think they're manipulating whatever you're using. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a radio.
I would definitely do some more research with that, and maybe have a recorder like off to the side,
Right.
and then
that too.
maybe have somebody that also knew your friend,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of hand it to them and say, "What do you hear?" and see if they hear her voice or his voice as well, instead of because a lot of times our brain is just geared to. We want to hear this so bad, or we want something so bad that it's there and you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the EVPs and things, I will send them to somebody and say, "What do you hear?" I don't say what I hear and it never comes back the same thing ever. Nobody has the same version of what they hear.
Well, they think that you're picking up on the message that's supposed to be meant for you. So there could be a session going on and you might pick up or hear or receive whatever it was meant to you, but the other person that's listening at the same time didn't hear it at all.
Yeah.
So it could be that too. We don't really have a complete understanding on how they're manipulating how we're receiving it, or maybe we're just receiving it because we're using something like any kind of device, even an EVP recorder.
One thing I can already tell you right now, I think we all know this happened. I already know for a fact it's not legit the least bit as the Ghost Radar app. I mean, that is just you got. There was actually one time, and I probably have told this before several times, but 10 years ago we went to Bobby Mackey's Music World, and we had somebody. I still had a lot of the equipment back then, but there was one person that was using a Ghost Radar app, and she thought that she was getting legit answers from it. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know it was her first time investigating, but it was so irritating that I just really wanted to go up and say, you're not actually getting responses, right? That's just the phone app doing that to you. She actually thought she was getting real answers.
And that might have gotten her into the field. You never know. And then somebody told her differently, but I don't,
Well, my logic more or less is just let's put it this way. Radio frequencies specifically are are universal. They've always been around, whether or not we've known about them or not. That didn't start until late 1800s, early 1900s. But it's like trying to hand a computer to your great grandfather. Hand him a smartphone and say, "Hey, figure this out. Communicate with me." So I guess
I have no idea what that is.
Right. And, there's somebody, I can't remember who it was. It may have been Einstein that said any sufficient enough technology can be easily misconstrued as magic.
Yeah, right.
And so, like, I guess that's my viewpoint on it, is that, like, if you're going to try to make contact, what would be easier for them to use? Would it be easy for them to figure out radio frequencies, which are, again, universal? Like, this is stuff that they're picking up from deep, deep, deep space, versus, like, hand them a smartphone and say, hey, talk to me.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but if I would put my money on the radio frequencies before I would the apps. And that's just
But
me,
what
though.
about, what about like when you're recording on a, like for the EVPs, and then you go back and you play it, it's picking up, recording sounds that it's picking up on that you can't audibly hear sometimes, or unless you have mediumship, you probably could hear them through your thoughts, but it's like you're recording something and then you're replaying that. So where's the manipulation in that? There's no radio frequency in that, right?
No, and radio frequencies are not the only form of frequency I think that they can use. I think that they know how to manipulate frequencies. Now, frequencies is just a generalized term for the waveform, the wavelengths and everything that are being used. I mean, they make up everything in our universe, our known reality. Like, you resonate on a specific frequency, Adrian resonates on a specific frequency. We all resonate differently. And so what kind of frequency may they be on? But I think, like, when you're talking about manipulation, communication, stuff like that, I mean, we're talking, what would be easier to manipulate, I guess? Would it be something like a computer, something that is programmed and they have to try to figure that out? Or would it be something that already exists, has existed forever, and will always exist? I mean, we're talking, see, like, we could even get into the theory, like Jay Prather, right? He created the direct link that's on all the shows, and he's very good at what he does. But he's actually looking into something called the gateway process. Now, the gateway process is something that was recently released by the CIA as a declassified document, right? It's a 32-page document, but page 25 is, of course, missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything else there's a lot of redactions and things. But apparently page 25 had like a lot of formulas and equations on it, different factors that needed to be, taken account for in this experiment. But the whole idea is that they're opening up a doorway to another dimension. And, like, this is something, you can Google this. It's called the gateway process. It's 32-page document, PDF. You can download it and read it. And it talks about hemisync, which is syncing the left and the right side of your hemisphere in your brain. And if you're able to do this, plus feeding the participants, a specific frequency for so long, depending on the location, their age, weight, height, there's all kinds of factors that play into this. But apparently Jay did it with Justin and Austin Spurrier. He did it with Corey Heinzen over at the Conjuring House. There were like 6 of them that participated in this. And apparently, if you were to talk to any of those 6 people, all of them will tell you that they had an experience. They had something that somewhere that they went. And when they came back, like, they were completely, like, mind blown. And I mean, if you know Corey Heinzen, if you've ever talked to Corey Heinzen at the guy who lives at the Conjuring House, you ever talk to him about it, ask him about that. And he will tell you that even he had some kind of crazy experience that he can't explain.
Without substances.
I can't remember. Jeremy, I don't know if you're still on. I can't remember his name, and I should. I've talked to the guy. But anyway, oh, yeah, I do. But he did this experiment, and his brother passed recently. And when he did this experiment with, I can't remember what he called this thing, but he's actually got a picture. And I don't know him personally, so I don't know, but I would like to think he's been in the field long enough that I don't believe he manipulated anything. But he ended up getting a picture of his brother that recently passed, and I mean the clearest picture I have ever seen of a spirit.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
I did see that one.
I don't think I ever saw it.
John
Arthur
Griffin.
Clark. Okay, no.
John. No. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I have.
I saw that quote. Can't remember who put it up there. That quote, Arthur Clarke. I saw.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Any technology sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable. Yep, that's right.
I'm just trying to catch up with
John,
all the comments.
It was John. It is John.
Mm-hmm. And that's correct. I mean, how are you gonna bring your cell phone to your great grandfather that was like, we're talking late 1800s. I mean, anybody really before 1990, like before technology, before the big technological boom, really, you try to show them a smartphone, a handheld, anything like that, and I mean, they're not going to know what the hell it is. They're going to think you're some kind of wizard or something,
Or if you're in a place like Salem or something like that, they'll think you're
a witch. God. You would have been stoned, like real quick. You would have been stoned. You would have been burned at the stake.
I'm pretty sure I would have burned.
Jeremy's still here, Adrian.
Yes.
What's Linda's asking? What's Jay's last name?
Prather.
Prather. It's J.W. Prather. Prather. And he's actually been posting a lot of stuff about it. Some videos explaining like the whole thing. On his Facebook page.
Thanks, Anita.
Does he talk about the Gateway Project?
Yes.
Well, he calls it Project WorldGate because it's a little different because he actually takes into account environmental factors, whereas because like when the CIA did it in a laboratory, so like there were some factors that they didn't have to take account for. Jay is adding in all of those factors and still doing the experiment. Like the experiment at the Conjuring House lasted 45 minutes and 13 seconds exactly. Because that's what the math called for. And it's a lot of math.
Oh, I'm sure.
And all the participants, their height, their weight, their birthday, probably their social security number, credit card number, all that stuff. I don't know. But there's a lot of that stuff all played. That person has to fit the math. If they're their biometrics, if they don't fit the math, then they can't participate in the experiment. And the math is all determined by the location.
That's cool.
Oh, it's a wild thing. I mean, he thinks that they genuinely may have opened up something, because apparently afterwards, like for like 20 or 30 minutes right after the experiment ended, like shit hit the fan at the Conjuring House, like activity, like they were chasing a woman in white around for like 10, 15 minutes. Like they kept seeing her apparition go into a different room. And so they'd follow her in this room and then they'd see her out in that way. I mean, it's just wild. So like, it's hard for me to even like buy into, the fact that people, what the TV shows have portrayed as what a ghost is, or the equipment that we use, the K2s, the millimeters, all that stuff. I mean, my question is always, who decided that those were the standards and the proper procedures, right? Who decided that? Was that, because damn well that Hitler and Warren were not using any of that shit,
right?
And secondly, too, I mean, who's to say that we're not communicating with interdimensional beings, or something from another plane of existence where we're just kind of crossing or merging at some point. Yep. So it's hard for me to even buy into the same practices that most people use in the paranormal field. Although I do have a heavy belief in the instrumental transcommunication. I think that there's something, and EVPs are another form of instrumental transcommunication. It's all about communicating through an electronic device and using those frequencies to communicate. And so who's to say that an interdimensional being, if we were to tune it to the right frequency or combination of frequencies, I mean, are we able to open that doorway to bridge that gap completely and lift the veil so we can communicate with them?
Definitely worth trying.
Yeah, that's where all my exploration goes into. Everything that nobody thinks of, I guess.
Greg saying we all have to be careful and protect ourselves for all scenarios for ITC.
Would you say that your interest in these experiments, the field, got ignited more so from your own past experience that you had?
I mean, in the paranormal field, yes. I mean, definitely. I a long time ago when I had my incident, yeah, like that, because I was in a coma for 3 days. You know, I mean, I was literally a shell of myself. Like it was just an empty shell for the most part. I personally don't remember anything while I was in the coma because I had hit my head when I fell. But so like I had frontal lobe inhibition, short-term memory loss. I had no filter. That's how the frontal lobe. I had too many experiences with that, more than I'd like. But that kind of stuff. It's what made me curious.
Right.
It's what made me wonder, like, okay, there must be something between life and death, because if I was there and I was not conscious, like, where was I? Yeah. Exactly. Where was I? So,
have you tried hypnotism to see if you could pull back any memories?
That's an idea.
I never thought about that. I never thought about that.
In things, Pamela, I can't say her last name.
Caucasian.
Oh, that's
yes.
Yeah.
Tip of something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that you could try to do something
like a repressed memory type deal.
Yes. Pull it for maybe it's in the background and you just can't, like, it's there, it's stored. It's just you can't pull it up on your own.
Sometimes defense. We don't want to.
Well, I mean, it's weird because like my memory, I mean, it's spotty, especially when it comes to that incident, right? Like I remember specific moments in the hospital, and I even remember waking up. Like I remember waking up and seeing my mom standing over me crying, and I asked her, like, I remember, like, what the hell? Where am I? And I look down, I have needles in my arms and shit, and she's like, "It's okay, honey, just go back to sleep. Everything's fine. You're in the hospital," And so, like, I remember that specifically, but then there's a lot of some lapses in my memory there, like during my stay in the hospital. But like, I don't know. Like my brain was damaged, so it's hard to say.
It may be refreshed on purpose, though.
My wife brought me home some Reese's.
Yes,
I don't like
Reese's.
I'm sorry to disappoint people. I don't like Reese's, actually.
Are you not human? What is wrong with
you? I just don't like stuff. I just don't like stuff with peanut butter in it.
What happened to you in life?
I don't like ice cream with peanut butter. I like chocolate with peanut butter. I don't like ice cream with peanut butter. And a lot of people do. It's like, ugh. How can you do
that? I like Josh, Marie slut.
Okay.
Oh, no comments.
Sure. No comment.
Awesome.
No comment. Staying away from that one.
As Jeremy would say, we're not touching that one.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I've been studying on near-death experience and people that, what they say when they come out of that. And what scares me the most is everybody's is different. Everybody's is different. I'm like, well, shit. What the heck?
Do you think it has something to do with who you are as a person? Because some people, they'll seem to have a lot of love and light and warmth. And then some people, they feel something very dark, something very...
I don't know necessarily. I think for me, the reason I don't remember is because when I fell and hit my head, it affected my frontal lobe, which is also your short-term memory. And so, I mean, it's hard to say, like, even when I came to and I was awake, like, my memory was very, very short. Like, my mom called me 10-second Tom. Like, from the movie, what is it, 50 First Dates?
Yeah.
50 First Dates.
Like, hi, I'm Tom, And then 10 seconds later, he forgets,
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was, really. Like, I couldn't remember anything. Like, I apparently looked at my IVs a number of times and was still surprised every time I saw them, even though I saw them, like, every 5 minutes I saw him, I was like, dang, what happened? I don't know. I think that has more to do with it, that for me at least. But I like she said, everybody's experience is different, and I think that if I wouldn't have hit my head so hard, I might remember it.
Right.
Maybe it'll just take time, like how everything else. It just took time to get back to your normal self, doing normal action.
I don't know. What gets me is like, you see the people. There's this Facebook page actually of people with near-death experience, and they've all put it in a book now. But anyway, some of them, like you said, see flowers and fields and light and feel warmth and whatever. And then I had a friend that was in a motorcycle accident, and he was actually dead for 10 minutes. He should never have had any brain waves whatsoever, period, done. And he said that he does remember everything. And he remembers going into a place of like nothingness. Like there was, what he described was aliens. I mean, that's not what he said, but it was like beings that were 11 foot tall and just dark. And they really didn't have facial features. And he did not communicate with them verbally. It was all mentally. And then he said that he did not feel remorse. He did not feel like he missed his family. He didn't even know he had a family. It was just in that moment right then. And they told him, sit there and just wait. And he said he didn't even remember he was a human, that he had, anything on earth, nothing. And then when he came back, obviously the pain kicked in immediately. And, but, and then there's other people that, see something completely different. So I don't know if it's maybe, like you said, beliefs, or or is it that we're in a state at that point where our memories just kind of, it's what we want or what we're scared of at that point, and our memories take us there before it actually kicks in where we're going.
Right. Yeah.
What if it's like an interdimensional place that you're sitting in, and so what you're seeing, what you're viewing, just depends on like part of what your beliefs are, but also it's like this interdimensional world where, say, if you meditate or practice that, you can get to there without death per se. Like say, Buddhist monks, they can practice something and get elevated to the point where their spirit leaves and goes to that realm, that interdimensional world. And so it might be a different experience for everyone.
Yeah. Astral projection type thing.
Yeah, there are actually even Buddhist monks that don't ever die. They like mummify themselves while they're alive. Like, and that's like what some people say that that's what true enlightenment is where you can actually, they slow their heart rate so down. There's actually living mummies is what they call them. There's some in Tibet and Nepal that like these Buddhist monks, they literally mummified themselves. They wouldn't eat except for certain things. And they would just go for years, just isolated, sitting in this position, just meditating. And then they will die in that position. Although the only way that they were able to do that is to lower their heart rate so much that somehow it kept them mummified. And I don't know, but like some of those bodies, or a couple of them, they actually they haven't even done anything to them. They haven't done anything to preserve them at all. Like they are just, have been there for a century or two and have not deteriorated, have not, decomposed at all. So
it's so weird. Yeah.
I mean, that's enlightenment. You know what I mean? That would be a good definition or a good example of enlightenment, like where you don't die. Your body doesn't die. You just are there. You're a being.
I know. That takes a special kind of, I don't even know that's human, because, we're here on earth. Enjoy life. Let's enjoy it, not sit and meditate. We can do that when we're dead. Hell.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. Maybe.
But one of Jay's theories, J.W. Prather, one of his theories that's really fascinating and is kind of confirmed by these documents. Jay has everything that Jay believes in. It has to do with photons and tachyons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tachyons, for those who don't know what tachyons are a form of a boson. Like if anybody's ever heard of the Higgs boson, the God particle, whatever they call it.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of any of this, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, it's something called the God particle, right?
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I can't remember why they call it the God. It has something to do with like its
It got created in the very beginning. It was one of the particles that are created that are part of the creation from the original origin of creation.
That's right. However, something called a tachyon is a particle that has existed, always will exist. Like it has, like there's no, like every person, everything in this realm of existence has their own cluster of tachyons, so to speak. And the tachyons literally are what could be considered a soul, because like if tachyons always exist, like they never, they're like energy, obviously, that never can be created nor destroyed, can only be changed. So if tachyons, and these are theoretical particles, by the way, but the CIA has done some things that confirm that we think confirms the existence of them. But if that's the case, what if there is a giant cluster of tachyons somewhere in the somewhere, right? And if all of us came from this same cluster of tachyons, because we all are made up of tachyons, I mean, that would almost even, like, you could start talking about God. You could start talking about these things. I mean, especially because they say that we are all God's children, whatever. We all came from the image of this one person or this entity, then could that be the scientific explanation for what we consider to be, God?
Greg makes a good point. Yeah, Greg makes a good point, actually. He says we are all like snowflakes when it comes to our gifts and our spirituality. I saw crazy things on my third concussion. Jeez, Greg, I didn't know you had.
Greg, what on earth?
Yeah, I've known you for a couple of years, and you never told me about that.
Too old to play football, Greg.
And some of my visions I still see today during meditation. See, I've known Greg for like 4 years or so I'm surprised he hasn't told me about that sooner.
See, Greg's over there fucking playing in the NFL still.
Yeah, he's from Chicago too, so that's just how us Chicago.
I know, Greg. I know that Eberflus is like trying to get you to try out or something, but no, man, don't do it. You need to stop with the concussions, man.
Yeah.
You can't get CTE.
Linda says, when the quark was first identified, my first thought was, that's love. Quarks were said to be the glue of life, and that made me think of love.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could also even get into the whole dark matter thing, too. I mean, dark matter supposedly makes up, like,
majority of space.
Yeah, like it's everything that fills the void between us, everything. It's really technically the glue that holds the universe together. It's actually what they even think that is causing the universe to expand, but also kind of group together. It's really weird.
It's weird because they always say, like, even to this day, they still say the universe is still expanding. And they say supposedly it may even be endless and will continue to expand forever. But it's like,
But if that happens, they say that it will also disappear because it'll expand so far apart that if it gets to that point and continues to grow, then we also disappear.
Well, it still doesn't fully explain about like how it's still grouped together if it continues to expand.
Well, when I say grouped together, I mean like the universe as a single thing is expanding out, but like as it expands, bodies of whatever, like planets, galaxies, all this stuff, they end up compressing together as the universe expands. It's almost like if you were to take a rubber band, right? You stretch it out. As you stretch it out, that rubber band is compressing more and more and more.
Right.
So like that's kind of what is that's kind of how you can explain it, is like as you expand it, it's just getting tighter and tighter together. And I mean, that's dark energy is what's causing it to expand. The dark matter is just what's making the dark energy compress, or the dark energy is what making the dark matter compress. Yeah.
Okay.
It's making it expand and compress at the same time, which is really, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Right. Linda also said saints were painted on metal boxes, and the boxes were covered with how do you lacquer and art form.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Josh is also saying, he just said this. Yes, I don't want to offend anyone on either side of the religious spectrum, but I know evil exists. I've been physically attacked by invisible guests.
Well, evil exists in every religion.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't
like,
matter
there's no
really which one.
I don't even know if that, I mean, I guess you could look at is there even one in Buddhism? Like, Buddhism is all about mellow and enlightenment and love and light and everything, right? And reincarnation too, but do they even acknowledge evil?
No, I think their whole point in life is to stay away from it and be the exact opposite of it.
Right, not to combat it or know how to detect it or whatever.
They try to
Jeremy.
The universe is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. No wonder people are so uptight.
He's got a point. He does have a point.
That's why everyone's grumpy.
Don't egg him on. Do not egg him on. No.
I'm gonna do what Eileen does.
Where is she? We have another
practice.
Few weeks before, few months before he can actually, shut us down and say, shut the hell up. So right now I'm going to take advantage of it.
There's yin and yang, light and dark, but you have to know both sides of yourself.
About balance. It's about knowing what to keep in check and knowing self-awareness is big. Self-awareness. I preach this shit so much. Self-awareness, people. You got to know how you are being perceived by others. Mm-hmm. You have to know what kind of situations you're causing too. And this is just going back to the uptightness, whatever. I mean, are you going to throw a fit in a public place and expect to be treated as an adult? No. You're going to be treated like a child, a child throwing a tantrum in a child store.
That's why I'm still That's why I'm still dealing with that today at my age. It's not my fault. It's theirs. They're in charge.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I get. Yeah. No. Exactly. It's just one of those. It's man, self-awareness. That should be the next movement. Is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Everybody just not be a dick and just know how to have a good time, be cool.
Even at that, every religion has that too. The Buddhists, obviously, they're very self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
And even in witchcraft or paganism or any of that, it's shadow work. It's it's called something different, but it's has the same outcome.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Personal transformation will help investigators big time. Apparently, for Linda's making a lot of good, interesting comments. Right now.
It will, Linda. It will. Right when we can transform them into good people and stop faking some shit and acting stupid.
Yeah, right.
At that point, then we got some transformation we can work with.
Damn right.
We're not always right. Nobody's always right. You're not always right.
I beg to differ. No, just kidding. I'm right.
We're always right.
Okay, Jill.
Believe what you want.
Knee-jerk reactions. Okay, yeah.
Helps reduce knee-jerk reactions. Wait, what?
It is. Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I was going to say, I had no idea what she meant by that, but okay.
Know your triggers and know how you'll react to them. And don't
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. No, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. Good luck with that, Adrian. People prefer to be schmucks more than decent folks.
I know.
I go off when someone's being a jerk to me. I just put them. I wouldn't say I put them in their place, but I let them know I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with someone being a certain way with me. It's talk to me when you want to talk to a normal level. You're just having a bad day, obviously.
Yeah, and you always got to give people the benefit of the doubt, but some of those people, man, they actually feed off of that.
Mhm.
You know, I don't even respond half the time if I ever get like somebody that says something, some kind of snarky ass comment. You know what? It's like I don't have the time or the energy or the fucks to give to like really bother with it, because all they're doing, if I continue to feed into the fire, then the fire is just going to keep going.
Greg, are you talking about
public?
Sorry, I was responding back to Greg. Greg, were you talking about this comment? Because this is your last comment that I see. He was asking to check the comment that I missed above from him. Or was it this one? Because I did read this one already. Greg, help me out with this, because I'm not sure you were talking about this or different comments.
I think he was telling Jeremy to take his time coming back.
That's what I was thinking, because that's the only other comment that was there before he said this. So.
Yeah, I said it when he left. He's not going to stay gone all that
to
long.
Austin. Okay, so wait, let me see where. I don't see it.
What'd you say to Austin? Say it again.
Yeah, say it again.
This is the last comment. I don't see any other comments in between, Greg. Yeah, you're gonna have to say it again, because
repeat the question.
Whether it was a question or a comment, doesn't matter. Linda here says, while we're waiting, Jill, just mentioning it once about, hey, you're in a bad mood, helps the other person become aware, and I find it changes the conversation almost immediately.
It does. And I work in the public, so I mean, I work from home, but I work, with inbound calls from people who are getting their education through their employers, and they have some rules to follow, and when they don't follow those rules and their application isn't in on time, and all this good stuff, they've missed out on $5,000. They're pretty mad when they call. And
okay.
I have to nicely be able to say, it's your fault. We don't make the rules, your company does, and you need to follow them.
So this is what Greg was saying. Above Austin, we all thought we were baby Mike Dickas. What?
I would prefer to be a Singletary than a Ditka. I'm just gonna say that.
I don't even know who that is.
Mike Ditka?
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
You're a Bears fan?
Yeah, of course I am.
Bro, you remember the 85 Bears? You ever heard of the 85 Bears?
You're not talking. Oh my God.
I won't be included on this one. I don't know anything about
it's a Chicago thing, I guess.
Walter Payton.
Well, I know Walter Payton, yeah.
Yeah, you know who his coach was that won the Super Bowl with?
That was Mike Ditka, wasn't
Mike fucking Ditka. He even has a restaurant in Chicago. Or he did. It was Ditka's Steakhouse, man.
Well, don't forget, because Linda just brought this up to 1985 Bears. See, now I know the reason why I wasn't around in 1985. I wasn't born until 1993.
Man, I was born in 91. And my dad.
You guys are the same age almost.
I got to meet Ditka though. Like I did. That was pretty cool. I got to meet him a couple times. But yeah, I mean, Greg, I would rather be Mike Singletary than Mike Ditka.
How about George Halas?
George Halas would be turning in his grave if he saw the Bears right now. I'm just going to say that flat out.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
Even Virginia McCaskey in her senile old age of owning the team, apparently George McCaskey, her son, is doing a fine job. My mommy told me I was doing a fine job, so I'm going to stay chairman. What he said. He said the board thinks I'm doing a good job, and I'm going to stay in my position. And the board consists of his brother, his mom.
Apparently, Nina saying that both of us could be your kids.
Yeah, my daughter, my oldest, is 31.
Well, Josh, you did say earlier about your age. You said you were 51.
Yeah, you're old enough to be my daddy, Joshua.
He's like, you can call me your daddy anytime. Sorry. I'll behave.
Jill, if people start calling you daddy, then I think there's something going on here. We need to figure out what's going on.
Hey, anymore, you don't know. It's like you get ready to go on a date. It's like drop your pants first. I'm not going out until you drop them pants.
Let me double check. Make sure. Wait, are you pre-op or post-op? What is it?
Oh, Nina's like around Joshua's age. How about that?
Yeah, Nita's awesome.
Yeah,
I've had her as a Facebook friend for, I think, almost as long as I've been in the field.
Oh man, that conversation just went downhill right away.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at what it's at.
Look, we are almost 2 hours into this, and it just now went downhill. We're doing real good, guys.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm gonna have to agree with that. Let's see what else I can find, because I'm actually trying to catch up with some of the other comments.
I'm not clicking on the comments on the chat because I don't want to mess up being on the feed here, because as soon as I touch something, I'm going to disappear. I'm not even touching the phone.
Oh, you're on your phone. Yeah, I can't either.
Well, the other thing too is I'm actually logged into the account, so actually I'm the only one, unless Jeremy was on, I'm the only one who could actually show the comments. So even if you tried to, you wouldn't be able to press them anyway.
So if they're saying stuff on the comments, interacting with you, then just let us know what they're saying.
You guys run across and list of frequencies, let me know.
What kind of frequencies?
For what?
Light, vibration.
I have no clue what she's talking about. Greg saying, I really enjoy you this way, Austin. Not box building and having fun. We'd love to have you. Oh, you were on a show once?
Yeah. Greg,
I was gonna say, when did
I am building. I mean, just to make it clear, I am building. I've been sitting here finishing this up.
He's been busy even while on the show.
Always, man. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
I caught you on Greg Balkin's show, but I didn't catch Greg Costa's show on that one. So you'll have to go back on.
I think, I did a while back, and then I was on another time doing that Estes thing, but like apparently there was like real bad connection issues, so like it didn't even. But I don't know. I wasn't really big on the Estes live podcast because like I don't know. It was just weird for me.
You don't like to be blindfolded?
Well, I don't like to be. I mean, I don't mind being blindfolded. It's not that, but I'm just like sitting here in my house by myself, just saying out words. And I don't know if apparently they didn't have anything to do with the questions that were being asked on the live feed. Right. I'm not really big on the Estes, but you know, I did it just for shits and giggles and to be there for Greg. He asked me to do it, so I did it.
I do like the Estes method just because you can't, and only when you really can't hear the questions. The only time I actually, because a lot of them, you know that they can hear you. You know this because, you can hear them right there. No. But like if they're in a whole nother room and you know that you can't hear, I do like, just finding out if anything makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I actually came up with a pair of headphones, like a headset that had a radio in it. And so I added a sweep circuit to that radio and basically made like Estes headset ghost box.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like
they
were big. Cool. They were like the lawn mowing headphones that have the radio FM AM tuner in it. Yeah. So like I just connected a sweep circuit to it and created an Estes method headset.
That'd be awesome.
But I stopped making them because I didn't really have a whole lot of people that were interested in them at the time. But
you might now.
They were cool.
Has that changed over time, or?
I don't have anybody asking me about them.
He needs the demand for it.
We're gonna have to make a GoFundMe for that now.
Hey, you know what? Shoot, I'd buy up the whole store if I had them. If I had enough money to do it, I'd buy all the headsets and do it. But it's all funds, man. It's all funds.
See, catching up with the comment, Josh is asking, has anybody had a UFO experience?
All the time.
Does my husband count?
My wife has twice recently had a UFO experience. Like twice within the last couple of years, she has.
She want to share that with us?
No. She's already like, no.
Do you know about it? Were you in the room or was she
I was
alone?
with her one time. We were in the car when she saw it the first time. The second time I was not with her.
I've seen them too, but I was with
with
my
my mom
ex-husband.
apparently.
See,
But-
I've had at least one very brief encounter. So that was back in my days of high school. So it was kind of, and it occurred right outside our own house. So that was interesting.
Wow.
My biggest one was the Northern Light, or not Northern Lights. I'm sorry, the Phoenix.
Northern Lights.
no. The
You saw the Phoenix Lights?
I was actually
Phoenix
driving through the
Lights.
desert. Because back then I won't even say my age, but back then I was working out in the desert and there was nothing out there. I'm like 30 miles away from Phoenix trying to drive home. And I look up and it's like everything's pitch black except for the stars in the sky, of course. And I look up and I swear these aren't stars. And I'm by myself on the highway because it's pretty late at night. And I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm just like, what the heck is that? And I just kept staring like, just kind of like praying I'll get home tonight because I didn't know what I was looking at, but I did see the lights. And then later on, I wasn't even watching the news right away, but when I would see things, and then they put a name to it, then I was like, okay, good. I wasn't the only one that witnessed this, but I was there in the desert and I saw this shit like right above me. I could see it flying over these lights, exactly how they depict in cameras and stuff or video footage, but I didn't even have something to record it at the time. It's just like my own memory.
That's
Man, that's
amazing.
nuts, man. That's one of those ones that's really always fascinated me was the Phoenix Lights. Because I mean, this thing stretched for like 100 miles. Like
all of Phoenix
It was all over the place.
Well, it was like it went from Phoenix like down to Texas, didn't it? Like there was places in Texas that ended up seeing it too. It was like southeast or something like that because it started over Phoenix and then it worked its way down over a period of like 30 or 45 minutes or something. Like so many people saw it.
Those lights. There's those lights in Texas actually, and they happen every so often. I can't remember the exact time, but a friend of mine went out with the police because they were trying to figure out, what it was, and the police actually did some experiment with them, and scientists can't figure it out. Like that place in there's one in Orla, Texas, because I lived on the New Mexico-Texas line, but there's one in Tulsa, Oklahoma that it's a star. They've got it right in town. And you can stand in that star and scream. And somebody's like right beside you cannot hear you. You cannot hear them. What it is, it's some kind of vortex. I don't know. But it's there all the time. It's constant.
See, from my experience was it actually did have a little similar appearance to the Phoenix Lights. Yes, I will give my age for this. I was 15 years old that time, and it's like early 2008. And I was like any kid, I was working on my homework, and I'm sitting in my dad's office, which is just across from where I'm sitting right now. And something was telling me to look out the window, and I look out, and I see these strange lights out in the night sky. And as typical, at first I just passed it off like it was just a plane or some kind of aircraft. But as it got closer, I noticed it didn't have that typical plane shape to it or helicopter shape. I saw it was 6 red balls of light that were going across the sky, and then there were actually 3 on top. I could still remember it was very bright. It had that flying saucer-like shape to it. And it had to have been only just a couple 100,000 feet off the ground. I mean, it was still in the sky, but it shouldn't have. It was really low, and I thought it was still a plane at first. However, there was no sound to it. If this was a plane, or if it wasn't, it would have been loud as hell for the whole neighborhood to hear. There was nothing.
I hate to do this, but I got to get off here. I got that call coming.
We all do. We all do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry I couldn't get to all the comments, but
you're good, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, I wish I could stay on a little longer, but I really got to do this. So thank you guys. It's nice to meet all of you.
yeah,
We love having you.
We'll have
Yeah,
you back on at some point real soon.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Thank you guys. Thanks.
All right.
Austin.
Good night,
Bye.
Austin.
All right,
Okay.
let's say good night, everybody.
Just real quick, just before we go, because I remember Jeremy's always telling me it's been telling me to do this at some point during the show. And Jeremy, if I did forget anything, just let me know really quickly. Of course, as some of you guys know, in just a few weeks, we have the Para-Unity convention coming up on Saturday, October 22nd at the Miami County Fairgrounds in Peru, Indiana. And I actually just got a message from Chrissy earlier, and she has actually asked me to, of course, I know you guys know I'm supposed to be doing story time for the kids. Well, now she's asking me to do it twice, once for the afternoon, once for the morning, and then once for the afternoon.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, she's even gonna they're actually supposed to be on some show at some point. They want to promote me for that.
That's awesome.
And also, finally, the other thing I got to say is, because I haven't even made this an announcement, tomorrow afternoon I'm actually going to be a guest on another show. Well, it's a familiar one. You can kind of say I'm basically making the return back to Paranormal Mysteries.
Oh, okay.
Tom
Awesome.
and Amy, Carrie, Adam, Marty, they all want me back on as a guest. So should be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So, but that's all I got to say. I don't know if you guys had anything else.
What time is tomorrow's?
That's going to be because it's a show. Because it's a show with investigators. Well, people from both the U.S. and the U.K. So for over here, it's going to be about 2:00, and it runs for an hour. So and Jill, if you didn't know, that was a show I actually co-hosted for what they actually used to be with us on. Well, when we used to be on the other network, but they just decided to just want to be more independent, if you will. So because of that, it was kind of hard to keep up with everything, as you're kind of jumping between different spots. So Linda, no, it's actually 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, so it would be 3 p.m. your time. And we don't have anybody for next week, right? Or do we?
I thought Don Elmy.
Yeah, that's what I want to bring. I was gonna say I want to bring that up first before I said that we were probably gonna have Don on for next week's
He
show.
thought he was going to be on this week, so I just kind of suggested like maybe next week because we already had a guest.
Right. I just want to make sure that if there was a guest for next week, I didn't want to put Don in a confusing situation. So 3 p.m. PST. Yep, there you go.
3 p.m.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to get off here, and I guess we'll see you guys next week. So,
all right.
You guys all have a great night.
Good night, everyone.